This video will show my process to change the oil and reset the maintenance required light for a 2015 LEXUS ct200h. The basic steps can be applied to changing the oil in most other motor vehicles. First, I need to get the oil and the filter ready. The filter comes with an O-ring which must be included with the purchase. I pop open the box at the store to check if it is there. This car likes O20 synthetic oil and uses 4.4 quarts that I mark somewhere around here on the 5-quart jug so I don't overfill it. Step 1 is to get a set of ramps and pull the car onto them. This is by far the cheapest, fastest, and easiest way to get the car to the right height. Just set the ramps up against the front wheels, taking care to align them straight forward and drive them up nice and slow. It helps to have someone outside the car to tell you if they're lined up right. From in the car, pop the hood and set the parking brake. I like to slide a pair of jack stands under the car for good measure. The ramps are just extruded plastic after all. I just don't want to forget that they're there when I back the car out. To open the hood, the lever is right about here. And the hood needs to be propped up. Now to remove the oil cap. If it's really tight, remove this engine cover by simply pulling it off and setting it aside. I always take the cap off before draining the oil so it won't be gulping air and getting oil everywhere. Like most cars, there's a plastic skid plate on the bottom of the car that I need to get access through. On this particular car, there's a small hatch to get access. I'll remove these 3 bolts first. And then this last one. The cover swivels slightly and drops down, and the process is reversed when replacing. Here is the oil filter, and the oil drain plug is here. I'll need a container big enough to hold more than 1 gallon. I recommend a 1.5 to 2 gallon container to make it easier to move and dump later without spilling it. Now I can use a 14mm socket to remove the oil drain plug. If it's too tight, I use a pipe for leverage. The oil comes out quickly, so I place the bucket more towards the back of the car instead of perfectly centered over the drain. I'll let it all drain out and then replace the drain plug. Next, I'll move the oil collecting container under the filter. I use a universal tool to take my oil filter cap off. It is a little more tedious, however, and it helps to wear a glove because oil will start dripping out as the filter cap loosens. Once fully unscrewed, the filter pulls straight out and the oil filter cap O-ring comes off with a small screwdriver. The new filter slips right back inside the cap and the O-ring at the base of the threads. Next, I'll slowly thread the entire assembly back on by hand, taking care not to cross-thread the cap, and then tighten it down snug. Now I can replace the skid plate hatch. Maneuver the hatch into place with the front tabs first, turning it slightly, and the rear tab last, then replace the 4 bolts. Back on the top side of the engine, using a funnel I'll pour in 4.4 quarts of oil. Tilting the bottle sideways and pouring slowly stops the oil from gurgling and spilling. After that, I can remove the funnel and reattach the engine cover. Note these 3 holes must match up to these 3 posts. But first I'll replace the oil cap and then snap the engine cover on. Almost finished. Time to kneel down and look under the car, grab the dirty old oil container and get it out of the way. Now it's time to remove the jack stands and look around under the car one last time for anything that I might run over before backing the car up. Finally, I can close the hood, start up the car, release the parking brake, and carefully reverse down the ramps. Once down, it's a good idea to open the hood and check the oil level to make sure it's correct. Too much oil is bad, and too little oil is bad. Time to reset the maintenance required message on the dash. This sequence works every time if I do it exactly this way. With the car off, and my foot off the brake for the whole process, press the power button. Now press it again. Use the trip odometer reset button to scroll to trip A. Hold down the trip odometer reset button and continue holding it down while pressing the power button. Now press it again. Now press it a third time. The words resetting maintenance data should appear. Now let go of the reset button. Pour the dirty old oil into the oil jug and get rid of it. Drop it off at an oil recycler, or if you're a normal person who doesn't know where to find such a place, then just try dropping it off at an oil change place, not an auto parts store. Please subscribe to my channel and post a comment.